We're live here at Daytona International Speedway for the first race of the round of 5 in the Quantum Contender Series. Right now, currently qualifying underway here at the 2.5 mile racetrack in Daytona Beach, Florida. As in total, it's going to be 100 laps here for tonight's Spare Parts Gaming Community 250. In this race, we'll set up the next 2 races for the championship round of 5. So it's going to be a very interesting couple of weeks here in the Quantum Contender Series, and we will crown the champion in 3 weeks' time, later in about mid-March. Right now, qualifying underway here at Daytona. Not the most important qualifying session of the year, definitely, but it's going to be important for pit stall selection and other reasons as well. Could be some bonus points as well for the pole sitter.
And especially these extra bonus points can mean a lot, especially here as we start the Championship 5 tonight. We saw last season, Talladega can be a wild card race. This could be a wild card race, plate race. And so all these drivers will get every point they can get tonight. They don't want to get wrecked. They don't want to get caught up in something at the very end. These Championship 5, they want to just stay clean tonight. Just make sure to survive on to next week.
Yeah, definitely. But right now, Dan Brown on top of the board here with about 2.5 minutes left in qualifying, halfway through already. And right now we're looking at Derek Riley, who's one of the top 5 drivers in right now. Apparently. There's now Calvin Smith out the board here in that 3 machine. He's also another playoff driver in the field.
So you can be able to claim the pole tonight. Now, pole definitely, Super Speedway qualifying, definitely a unique arc to it, as well as you really want to kind of just let the car arc itself. You don't want to force anything that it has to. You also don't want to kind of stay this slow like Calvin Smith is doing. That look could be okay, but you do want to get a little bit of an arc going into the corner. You want to naturally let the car glide down the banking and get a little bit of extra speed. And now coming off the corner here, looks pretty good, but then you'll want to cut this apron right when you get around the restart zone. Looks like he's going to stay up above the line there, but a solid lap there for Calvin Smith. He will stay on top of the board. He will improve his lap. Of course there, but still a minute and a half left here in qualifying, so not much time left for these drivers.
Colo's in second place. He's about 5,000 of a second short here from pole position. Like you mentioned, a little bit over a minute left in the session. Kyle Schmidt's on the racetrack right now. And Joshua Schmidt, who's currently the points leader coming into tonight's race, as you can see on the top right of your screen. Those are the live standings as of now, but they will update once qualifying is over as well. It looks like Josh Schmidt's not the quickest lap time. He's going to go around that 11th place spot. So, like we mentioned, qualifying not the most important thing tonight, just about survival, really, for a lot of these drivers. Talked to them last week, and they kind of just, Daytona was just kind of about survival and not getting to the big one, and just kind of survive and move on, advance and move on. It's kind of like March Madness term. Just survive this race, and you can build up your momentum for the next 2 races as well, which take I guess, quote unquote, a little bit more skill, I would say, compared to Daytona here, as we're about 25 seconds left in qualifying. Looks like Kyle Schmidt will be the last one to set a lap time here. Can he go top the board and beat Calvin Smith's lap time here? Through turn 4 he goes. Off of turn 4, he has to get down to a 50.476. Here he comes to strike, plenty of time in the session. Here. Crosses the line.
50.494. We'll go P3. So solid lap there for Kyle Schmitz.
Yeah, definitely a great lap time there, and puts himself in the top 3 spots. But not on the front row quite there. So qualifying now wrapping up, as Kyle Smith has officially gotten the pole position here at Daytona for the Spare Parts Gaming Community 250. As the lights just turned on, as the nighttime is setting here at Daytona Beach as well.
These drivers getting ready to grid for the opening race of the Championship 5, the round of 5. So these 5 drivers looking to stay clean tonight. There are 14 drivers here. I also do have the bracket challenge for the non-playoff drivers. Tonight we do have Brandon Cuxhausen with Dan Stock Arrow. That is one matchup as well. Stephen Horner, Brandon Newton, Scott Kerber, David Wells, and Mike Marshall and Cole Lewis. So those 4 matchups, we'll keep an eye on those tonight as well, as they will fight for the winner of the bracket challenge, which will run through the rest of the season as well.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out, as mean, Calvin Smith, he has a great front row seat right now, currently on the front row. I mean, we'll see. I mean, like you mentioned, 14 drivers in total, so the opportunity to lose points isn't too high right now, currently, for these playoff drivers. So even if you fall down to 14th place, 10th place, around there, even if you're gonna wreck, you're not too far out of it where it's pretty much impossible to make up those positions back up. But I mean, you definitely don't want to put yourself in the hole this early in the round of 5.
Yeah, you just want to stay out of trouble. And I think really up front, trying to stay up front is definitely going to be a good way to do that. Just try and manage your time up front. You don't want to stay up front the entire time, because you also do want to watch your fuel numbers as well. And these drivers, they do have to make a pit stop tonight. Of course, 100 laps. They have to make a pit stop. There is no looks like there is no there it is, 65% fuel limit. So these drivers can go about probably 25 to 30-ish laps, around 28. These drivers can go. So they're gonna have to make sure they can go at least over 25 to make it only 30 stop here tonight. So every 25 laps. But you have a couple of your teammates together, 4 or 5 guys. You can break away from the rest of the field as well. So you want to try and see if you can do that as well. Just try to work together. Make sure you're getting your pushes straight. Usually the top lane is going to be a little bit stronger, but it could, if you don't have about 4 or 5 cars up there, it's not really going to move as well at the bottom. So you can see how those drivers manage their runs and try to stay up front. After that, we're rolling off, getting ready to go racing. Let's get off turn 2. I think it's a good time for our starting lineup here tonight. Here from Daytona. So this Calvin Smith taking the pole with a 50.476. Starting alongside him will be the 52 of Cole Lewis. Starting third will be the 19 of Kyle Schmitz. Dan Barone at the 33 will start in 4th. Starting 5th will be the 17 of Derek Riley. And Cody Dorsey will start in 6th tonight. Mike D. Marshall will start in 7th. Dakota Bly will start in 8th. The 14 of Scott Kerber will start in 9th tonight. Running our top 10 will be the 5 of Jason Bottoms. The 27th of Sakero, he'll start 11th here tonight. Joshua Schmitz will start 12th. And the 2 machine running on the final row of the night. The 7 machine of Brandon Cushausen. And 28 of Brandon Newton, around our 14 car field here tonight here from Daytona.
And that's going to be 7 rows deep once we take the green flag here. Doesn't look like we have any penalties before we go off. So, no penalties here tonight going into tonight. No EOLs, no drive-thrus, anything like that. So, a lot of storylines going tonight. Obviously, first race of the round of 5, and also the bracket challenge, like you mentioned before. So, kind of got to keep track of both of those, as those are pretty important here for a lot of these drivers, as even the non-playoff drivers have their own bracket, and the other 5 who got eliminated last week are still in contention to get in that 6th place spot. So kind of the best of the rest, you could say. The pace car coming off pit road, and we're about to go green here for the Spare Parts Gaming Community 250, as Calvin Smith will lead us to the restart zone.
Green. Green flags in the air. We're underway here from Daytona. 250 miles on the board, and these drivers getting underway. A quick jump already for the inside lane, already getting a slight advantage, and he's rocking down to turn 1.
And as they get up to speed here, only 160 miles per hour right here through turn 1, turn 2. As they get up to speed for the initial starts here, as inside lane has quickly single filed out down the back straightaway they go. Outside lane has kind of died down quickly, as the inside lane just seems a little bit more grouped up together initially. Cole Lewis falling back quickly all the way down to 6th place already, down 4 spots. Man, that inside lane looked really good there. As we're coming to complete lap number 1 here. Looks like no one's gonna go to the outside or anything crazy like that to try to get lap led. The lead lap 1 is gonna be Calvin Smith at the stripe.
Single file out pretty quickly. Everyone's staying pretty calm. The outside not really packed up together right now. Only about 3 cars. You gotta have at least 3 cars, pretty much bumper to bumper. They also have the watch your temps as well. You don't want to blow up as well. So these drivers not really getting too aggressive right now with this. Everyone's just staying single file, just trying to click some laps off here early on. You see a lot of drivers leaving each other's place. No one's really trying to push anything this early.
Yeah, I think they all kind of know that there's no reason to push this early. You know, plenty of time, plenty of laps. Make news later in the race. So another thing we gotta watch out for is fastest lap of the race as well. That also gets an extra bonus point. Actually, pole position does not get a bonus point. I kind of misspoke there, but it's just fastest lap, most laps led, and lead a lap. So when Calvin Smith has the fastest lap, has led a lap. And we'll see who has the fastest lap. Derek Riley right there. So he gets that extra little bonus point. You can see the top right of your screen, that also is reflected in that, so you can see this is 100% accurate. Obviously, penalties pending, could have penalties post-race, but usually that's not the case here in the Contender series, but the points are accurate on the top right of your screen here as they run live. Calvin Smith currently 7 points ahead of Kyle Schmitz, who's right behind him in second place, so this would be a great starting position here. Then this hole is already, obviously it's only about 3, so very early on, but I mean, Calvin Smith having a great run so far tonight, caught pole position out in front. I think his goal right now is just lead laps, get those bonus points, and see where you can be at the end. It's really just gonna be about who you pit with and how good is your paired entry and exit. I think that's really gonna be the biggest factor in tonight's race with 14 drivers. I don't expect these drivers to really have too many incidents, but one thing to note, Joshua Smith's actually 10 seconds back already. I'll take a replay of that. What happened to him? I'm not sure if he just kind of fell behind earlier. It looks like he has front end damage, actually, in that 2 machine. So we'll go a little further on back here, see if we can see what exactly happened. He's in the middle of this pack right here. It's quite a bit ago. Down the back bumper. Jason Bottoms and very.
Oh, I wonder if that might be kind of the bumping kind of bug. It may have ripped his front nose off.
Oh yeah, it looks like.
Really there. I think that's what happened. Fortunately for Joshua Schmitz, I think that may have what's happened. It just kind of blew the front there.
Sounds like he
got out of
lifted.
it.
Very interesting there, but he's actually going to come out pit lane and try to get that fixed. So it's unfortunate there for Joshua Smith.
Yeah, that's going to be an early lap down.
Yeah.
He does not want to be either, so this is going to be he's going to have to for yellow sometime later on. But luckily for him right now, everybody is together in one pack, so he will be the only driver lap down. But you don't want to go any more than 1 lap down here. You want to just stay 1 lap down, so you just get the 1 caution. You'll be back on the lead lap.
Yeah, he did really good in the round of 10 there. Won the first 2 races and got 4th last week, I guess, at Chicagoland. So he was probably the favorite to maybe win the championship based off the last round. He didn't have the greatest regular season of all time, but he's really tuned up in the playoffs. But that's a tough start from him this early on in tonight's race. But he's actually still in the pit lane, so he did not actually take his fast repair. So he just reset. He might be out tonight's. Yeah, he's out. He's out tonight's race early on. Wow.
And that's
a big point. Yeah.
That's going to take him out of contention pretty much very early on. Unfortunately, there for Joshua Schmitz.
Unless these other drivers, unless these other drivers really have a bad night, I mean, it'd be tough for him. It's gonna be tough sledding for him to maybe get those positions back. I mean, he had a little bit of a buffer. He had a 4-point lead coming into the night due to his wins in the chase last week or last round. But he's got to hope for some bad luck from these other drivers here tonight, and maybe not take too much. Not have them have too big of a lead going into next week. Right now, the inside lane's still doing good, but here comes the outside lane with a good run. I think led by Cody Dorsey, excuse me. He's getting pushed there behind Brandon Newman, I believe. Yeah, Brandon Newman on a 28 machine. Pushing that top side, but only 3 cars up top. Not sure if they really have the numbers here on the outside line to do much. Now see in the background there, that 8 machine of Dakota Bly. And a little further on back, not really helping too much on the outside line. Just kind of seeing maybe where, if it has a run, maybe he wants to go with it later, but really right now, the inside line's just been so dominant. I mean, they haven't really tried too much. Hasn't been really too racy so far tonight. We'll see if that changes here in a few moments' time.
Yep, just staying to the bottom right now, being patient. You see a couple drivers towards the back trying to make something happen. It seems like it's kind of annoying. It gets a little bit frustrating. Like 1 or 2 drivers want to go, but then no one else wants to go. So they try and hop up to make a move. No one wants to go with them. So they just can't really make progress at all. You see, you got a couple up there. Jason Mom's is thinking about it. They got Cody Dorsey Brandon Newton. They're trying to make something happen. Jason Bombs is kind of seems a little bit indecisive, but now he comes up as Dakota Bly will hop behind him. Dan Burrow will also hop up. These drivers, they gotta get tight on this side draft here, especially only 4 cars. They gotta get good. They gotta get tight on the side draft.
They got 5 now.
Straight on the. Gonna start really good on the straightaways, and now they got 5. Is now the 7 machine of Brandon Cuxhausen will hop into the top lane. And making really good progress because now you see this gap on the bottom. Brandon Cuxhausen very separate. Scott Kerber very separated around from Cole Lewis and Mike Marshall. So that inside lane separated off here. And we're going to side drive back. And that's going to create a little bit of breakaway for the top 4. That's going to allow this outside lane to start searching for it.
Well, we'll see if they have a good run here as they're trying to do something early on tonight's race. I mean, still only 10 laps into the tonight, only 10% into the race, but I mean, that seemed like it's gone by pretty quickly though. 10 laps already under these drivers' belts as the outside lane really pulling up quick. Now it's pretty even inside and outside. Oh, inside had a bad shove there. That was Mike Marshall got a bit, maybe got Derek Riley a bit squiggly there down the back straightaway. That allowed the outside line to have a good run. So now the top 3 on the outside kind of tandeming up top. Outside lane has kind of died down a little bit, but man, Cody Dorsey's really pushing that 7 machine of Brandon Cuxhausen as much as he can to the front lane.
Yeah, making it work good. Now, Cody Dorsey, I've noticed he's been on this bumper a lot here. You got to be careful. You don't want to get don't want to blow up. Don't want to keep your temps too hot. Now, especially for someone like the Kyle Spritz here, Calvin Smith on the bottom. Kyle Spritz wants to be pushing Calvin Smith on the straightaways as best as possible. Then Calvin Smith will probably want to come up about a quarter to half a lane as Schmitz lifts and holds to the yellow line. Try to get a little bit of air on that nose. The issue is you don't want to get a draft to the top lane. As she tries to come up, but that's just really, you want to try to stay offset left than you are offset right. Offset right, you're going to be a little more, you're going to be a side drafting a little bit compared to staying offset left and just trying to shove forward because you're moving to the right. So it's not really good for Kyle Schmitz this moving up. You'd rather have the lead car move up, but it looks like Derek Riley though hopped up from 3rd in line. Now he's side by side with Kyle Schmitz, so there's really no option. So whatever lane gets hot really might be the one that's going to struggle first. I think Cody Dorsey, he got a hot, and that outside lane is kind of started to stall a little bit. But Derek Riley now, he has the outside lane, and now he's getting shoved from Brandon Cuxhausen. But now Calvin Smith, he wants to try to keep the lead. He'll move up top and try and ride a momentum up front.
Yeah, but here comes the inside line, and what was the first lead change of the night? We might hear Kyle Schmitz out in front for now, but will he lead this lap? Looks like he will with a good shove here from Mike Marshall, the outside line. It doesn't seem as organized, maybe further on back. Kyle Schmitz clear out front. Will he go top or will he stay bottom? I think probably the best move here would just be stay bottom. I think the bottom lane has been just a tad bit better, more consistent at least in the top side so far tonight.
Both lanes is kind of becoming even now. These drivers are going to manage their attempts, especially the second, third cars in line. They're trying to get a little bit of the gaps in the corners, trying to lift a little bit. Now, really with the inside, you want to try and lift in the corners. You want to try and push from straightaways. The outside, you want to try to do the opposite, mainly because you're already going to have a run off the corner. Is what I tend to notice. You want to try and save a little bit off the straightaways, off the corners. Saving your temps coming on the straightaway. Because you got to make up for the distance in the corner. So if you can push to the corner a little bit and try to get that outside lane moving, that would be good. Here's a good run off of 4 right there from Calvin Smith there. They actually both clear. They'll both take the inside and clear in front of Kyle Schmitz. So they'll take the race lead away. But now the outside lane, Brandon Cuxhausen just does not have the momentum built up right now. Cody Dorsey is shoving as hard as he can go right now. But that outside lane is just starting to stagnate a little bit. It's the top. There's only 4 up there. They're not really stacked up very well. But now they're starting to get a little bit of a run building up now. Mike Marshall thinking about hopping up there. But right now the top lane is starting to fall back just a little bit. Calvin Smith and Derek Riley working well on the outside. They'll navigate back down to the bottom.
Because I mean, inside lane has really just surged here the past few laps. The outside lane just seems like it just doesn't. It's not really able to consistently be up alongside the inside. Luckily for Calvin Smith, he was able to find a way back out in front, so he still leads here. There's a few laps led by Kyle Schmitz there for a few moments time, but the outside lane has really died down quickly as they're almost to the back of the field already. And still, Dean Saline surging up ahead as the outside falling back quickly. Let's take a quick look at the points right here. Apparently, they're pretty much the same as we saw before. I mean, the positions really did not change too much really these past few laps. So, I mean, now they're all single file back out. 13 cars total right now. Currently, Josh Schmidt's exited early tonight after some damage. There'd been an iRacing kind of glitch or bug there that caused him to get a lot of front end damage and caused him to slow down quickly. Our points here coming in tonight is out of tonight's race early on. So it really sets him up here, sets up the rest of the field to have a chance at this one. It's going to be very interesting to see what could happen these next few laps. Will anyone try to push the issue here? Pit stops are just around the corner, even though we just kind of started this race right around 15 minutes ago. Pit stops are on the horizon here in about probably 8 or 10 laps time, give or take. I mean, especially for Calvin Smith, he's been leading the majority of this race, so may have to pit a little bit earlier than expected.
Especially you saw Condorcet and Jason Bottoms, they tried to get outside moving, same with Kit Brandon Nicehausen. Especially coming to pit stop time, you want to be up front, you want to have that extra buffer. You make a slight mistake, overshoot your stall. You don't have to worry about falling off the back as much. You want to try and stay in front. You want that track position, especially if you're like Calvin Smith, and you have to take a little bit more extra fuel than someone else because you've been leading the whole time. You want to try and have that track position. You want to be up front. You want to be the first one on. Try to be up front. Try to be one of the first few on pit road. Like really in your pack. You don't want to be kind of laying off the back, and if you make a slight mistake, you're going to lose a draft middle pit road, so you don't want that to happen either. So right now, these drivers, they were fighting a little bit. I think that's kind of what the outside lane was moving right there. Enough. I think everyone's probably going to be content with 7 line. They see a couple moves in the next 5. These drivers are going to have to pit within about 10 laps here. So we'll see our first pit stops tonight coming up soon. We'll see if any teammates will just try to get any working together. Calvin Smith, Jason Bond with Active Motorsports tonight. Scott Herberg, solo rider with Florence Girls, spare parts with Kyle Schmitz, lone rider, as well as Joshua Schmitz been out of tonight's race. Cole Lewis, Dan Sakero, Synergy Racing Group. Those guys can also help to other teams throughout the Quantum Contender Series tonight. Those teams are going to be pretty important here tonight. Looks like only a couple duos there. It looks like Derek Riley, a little bit of front end damage up front with Calvin Smith. He goes high to get out of it, and looks like Derek, Dakota Blythe, Cody Dorsey, Jason Miles all went up as well. There's a lot of front end damage from Derek Riley right there. Just see what happened.
Yeah, a lot of front end damage.
And it's exactly that
bug
that happened earlier.
It's just Chevrolets, I believe, with the new body. I believe, yeah, you can also tell live there on broadcast. You can really see it visually right there. Sparks flying, no contact, and that's major damage on the front ends. I think that's
that's going to make that car a parachute. He's going to have to come down.
He has to take a fast repair during this next caution.
If he was to try and stay in this,
I mean, I just don't think you can risk it. I mean, he's lucky that he's in the pack right now compared to Joshua Schmitz, who was out of it at that moment. But yeah, I mean, right now that kind of helps Joshua Schmitz as right now he's started back in the points. Derek Riley to the outside line. I don't know if he realizes he has that front end damage. I'm sure his spotter has been telling him he has damage, but you can just see how much slower he is down the back straight than these other drivers, and he might be. Oh man, that was kind of a lucky move there. To go by and Cody Dorsey stay behind him there, right there. I believe it's the Chevrolets that are having this issue, so if these drivers are in the Chevy because of the new body update, I think that's a known issue in the service, so that would be an interesting thing to watch out for.
This has been an issue a long time ago, but I never really haven't seen it happen in the recent months, the past year, but it seems like it is back in full fashion here tonight, and kind of unfortunate. Some of these drivers might have that issue. You can't really do anything about it. You're just kind of luck of the draw when you're bumping somebody. If you're going to get bugged, your nose is going to get dug into the ground. You're going to have a lot of front. It's basically ripping the front bumper off the race car. It gives you at least 40 seconds of front end damage. And when you have that, you pretty much have no chance of even leading a line or being second or third in line trying to push someone forward. You can kind of hang on to the draft, but you pretty much have no chance leading a line at all. You're just a parachute. You have no chance of making a run, and you also have to watch your temps as well, because I believe that also damages the radiator a little bit. So it's just no chance really if you get that bug. It's just like Derek Riley. You just kind of, especially no guaranteed cautions. But you just hold in right around to this, as you will be able to hold a draft until this pit stop. I think you just have to take your fast repair at this pit stop. You can't worry about fixing it right now. It's at least 40 seconds. You're going to be a parachute if you have any other chances. You're going to have to you're going to either have to take fast repair now, try and hope you stay on the pack to the next few pit stops, and then take your fast repair at the last pit stop, or just hope for yellow. You can come down and fix all the damage. But yeah, unfortunately for Derek Riley, he's trying to get it outside the movie, but he's going to try and push Cody Dorsey, but his temps are much harder to manage, as that pretty much a whole bunch of radiator at that point. It's just so hard to get air on the nose, because the front end is entirely compromised.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a thing we got to watch out for here once these drivers do come out pit lane. People will take their fast repair. I mean, most of the drivers won't. I think Derek Riley definitely probably will. As the outside lane kind of charging once again here late. I mean, pit stops are coming up here by the next 3 laps or so. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting how these drivers going the outside already early on, right before pit stops. Or what we assume there will be pit stops here momentarily.
These drivers will probably pit within the next 5 laps. I think we can only go about 30 laps at the most if they're saving. But they want to try to at least get to 25. It looks like everyone will be able to do that, so everyone will be able to make a 3-stop here
race,
tonight.
yeah.
It's about 65% fuel. No more fuel tank. You get anywhere from 40 to 45 laps or so, depending on how much you're saving. If you're leading the pack, flat out, you can get 38 to 40 is your number. But if you're anywhere towards the back, just try to see if you can get anywhere from like about 42 to 45. If you're really doing good at fuel saving, you get all the way up to 45, 46 laps on fuel. So these drivers at about 65%, you can probably get around anywhere from 25 to 30-ish laps, depending on what where you're running in the back. But we'll see. Here comes a couple down pit road, the back half of the field. Cody Dorsey, Dakota Bly, Jason Bottoms, and Derek Riley. Those 4 working together. They will all come down pit road. They're gonna try and jump the field as well. These 4, they get linked up together very well. They can jump the field as well. 4 drivers enough, but they also got to manage their pushing perfectly, manage their temps perfectly. They can definitely get away from the field, and we'll see everyone nice in their stalls, nice and smooth here. As Derek Riley trying to see if he takes his fast repair. He does not. So Derek Riley will not. I mean, he pretty much has to tag along, which that might be a problem for those 4. He's gonna have to tag along. He can't really push. He can afford to push, so he cannot get as much temps on the nose, and he definitely cannot lead the line.
Definitely not, but he's right behind Cody Dorsey right now, so I'll have to try to group up quickly here as the rest of the field coming down pit lane. We'll see if any issues. Oh, looks like one driver.
Oh my Marshall spin!
He's gonna get out of the way though, and luckily he didn't lose too much time. But Calvin Smith lost a lot of time there, and he's checking. Does Calvin Smith? He looks a little slow in pit lane.
I think Calvin Smith's out of fuel. He's sputtering down pit road here.
Yeah, that's gonna cause big time there. Yeah, he's out.
He's gonna make it all the way down pit road.
He's the first box.
That on pole.
I mean,
that's it. That might cost him to lose a draft.
If I was him, maybe take a little bit less fuel here. Maybe just try to save a little bit.
So taking 4 now. You're not even taking. You're only taking 3/4 tank. So you really only want to take two tires.
Yeah, Calvin Smith's gonna lose the draft here. He's still in pit lane. There he finally goes. So big implications here. Calvin Smith was looking really good earlier in tonight. He's out of this. He's out of the draft right now. Currently, about 27. So, like I mentioned before, pit stops will be the name of the game. You cannot make pit road mistakes because me and Aaron kind of expect this race to go green for quite some time. As look at the top 4, they are gone right now.
And like I mentioned, those 4 they got separated from the rest of the pack. They pitted together. They're nice and smooth on pit road, and now they're pushing each other well right now. But they do have a smaller gap, not too big to the rest of the field. But as Calvin Smith, You just push the fuel a little bit too much. You don't want to push it. You don't want to be sputtering down pit road. That's just costs you way too much time.
Yeah,
and that's what happened there. Especially what I noticed as well. I think majority of that the field there, it took at least they took 4 tires. I saw Kyle Schmitz. They took 4 tires. Everybody else took 4 tires. Now with especially here at super speedways, 4 tires is not going to be a big advantage. It's really going to be on pit exit. The thing is, you're going to take way too much time. As they're only taking, there's only a 65% fuel tank, so you're only going to be taking about 14 gallons is all you're going to be taking all night long, and that's only enough for 2 tires. You're just holding yourself too long if you take 4. So I think that's the mistake for most of the field. I think these front runners, they just took fuel only or 2 tires. I did not get a good look at what they
took. It looks like probably mostly 2 tires. Looks like 12-second pit stops for most of these drivers.
2 tires. For these top 4, so that's also another reason why they got away so quickly. Other than just being together, they just took 2 tires and saved about 3-4 seconds off the road. And the tires really don't matter unless coming off pit exit at speed. That's the only difference. Those 4 are looking strong right now. They'll probably take 2 rights that time. They'll probably take 2 lefts next time by. And next time in pit road, and just take 2 tires throughout the night. You're not going to need tires. You're not going to need tires at all, really, unless you get a spin. You're going to be can't really make sudden movements if you have really overheated tires. That's really only going to be a problem if you're spinning. You can be caught up in multiple exits quite a lot.
Yeah, we'll see here as well. On lap number 30 already. Here in tonight's race, been green since the get-go. Now the top 4 have about a 4.5 second gap over the rest of the field. We'll see if these drivers behind can maybe slowly but surely inch their way forward, but that's gonna be a tough ask here. As there's 4 drivers up front and there's only 5 drivers back here, so I don't think the speeds really should not be that much different. I mean, it's gonna be really tough though for these back 5 to do anything here.
So far, the top 4 making it happen, especially with Jason, Derek Riley's from Bumper. Jason Bumper's sitting there at the 3rd. I'm shocked how they're making that work very well, but it looks like the second pack, Cole Lewis, Kyle Smith not pushing as well. Dan Barone not keeping Cole Lewis too close. Same with Brady Cookstown, not keeping Dan Barone a little close enough, but these drivers trying to work together to shove forward. Last time by, they were about even lap times as well, 47 to 1s. For both of those drivers, for both those packs. But really, that second pack is also not very big. It's only about 5. It's only 5 cars, so they only have 1 extra car there as Calvin Smith and Stockeros. They've all lost the draft. Brandon Newton, Mike Marshall, all losing the draft there for that pit cycle.
Right now, currently, Grimson top 4 just doing what they need to do here. Out in front, they paid a lot earlier, so that shouldn't really affect them too much fuel strategy-wise. I mean, maybe Cody Dorsey, Kyle Schmidt's right in front of these packs could maybe burn maybe a little bit too much fuel, but I think overall they should be okay no matter what happens here.
Big mistake there to that second back. They just got really shuffled out there.
Yeah. Take a quick replay of that.
They were all over the place out of turn 2. It looks like they get a little bit shaken up here, but let's take a look what happened. They were really shaking them off with turn number 2.
Just, yeah, up the racetrack they go.
Maybe trying to cycle out, trying to save temps, so that's just going to cost them a lot of time. That's going to save, lose them about a half a second
Last time by,
really, like they
right
want to do, like they want to do really. Kyle Schmitz, especially, so you don't have to worry about another lane right now. Kyle Schmitz, he wants to come up about a half a lane in the corners, and then Cole Lewis will want to hold that yellow line, lift a little bit, and enter the corner, hold that yellow line, and take the air from Kyle Schmitz going up about half a lane. Once he goes up half a lane, then coming off the corner, Kyle Schmitz will come down. Cole Lewis will get the run, as Dan Barone's also going to be pushing him off the corner at that point. And then they'll push each other forward, and they'll get that lane moving a lot better. They'll be really efficient with saving those temps, but they're not really efficient with that right now. It looks like Cole Lewis, he's coming up in the corner. Really want to kind of have Kyle Schmitz do it, but they're trying to make it work, and they're also Cole Lewis also lifting in the corner, trying to push on the straightaways. It's gonna be the way you want to do it. It looks like just lifting a little bit too much. You don't want to lift too much as well. Lift too much, especially like Dan Barone right now. Not really on the back bumper of Cole Lewis right now. Not pushing him up to Kyle Schmitz's bumper. So it's just making it. So with that air bubble, they just can't get to the bumpers until halfway down the straightaway. So you're using half the straightaway just trying to catch back up right now. You really want to try and be on that bumper as soon as you get off the corner and try to keep shoving forward.
Yeah, definitely. But like I mentioned, I think pit road could be the most important thing tonight, and it has kind of shown that already. So right now the top four together with some lap traffic of Brent Newton. We fell back a little earlier in pit lane as well, I guess. He doesn't. I'm not sure. Just kind of lost the draft, or maybe he's kind of got involved in this as well, but. So now currently these drivers are really pretty much spread out, and they're pretty much taking it easy. I mean, there's not really, it's pretty much all I can say. I mean, they're just taking it easy. There's no reason to really be too aggressive in any of these packs. I mean, let me take a quick look at the live points. I actually haven't done that since the pit stops here, but all right, Cody Dorsey. Yep, Cody Dorsey currently leading the points now, as he is the race leader.
Yeah, the good news is for this lead pack, they had the pack a couple lap course tag along this to give them the advantage. But yeah, that second pack not very organized right now. They had a multiple car lengths a lap ago. Actually, in the turn number 3, Kyle Schmitz went way up the track. Actually got the wall about a lap ago now. He made it 3. Looked like he got way out of line, trying to shuffle out. But these drivers not very organized, not very efficient on this. And I know, and also that's kind of expected. I don't think these guys are working together. They're not working together in a Discord call or iRacing channel. Unlike the front four, like Cody Dorsey, Derek Carly, Jason Bowes, Dakota Bly, all those four always work together. Also part of their team, so they're working together. They're communicating what they're going to do when they need a lift, when they need air. And that's going to help them much better than compared to like Kyle Schmitz, Cole Lewis, Dan Barone. Great touchdowns in that second pack, and it's paying off for them. They also have the lap cars. They'll also give them a little bit extra buffer as well. Kind of lap cars just kind of staying off the back of them and just kind of sucking off the draft and laying off the back of them there. But yeah, just kind of leeching off the draft there.
Yeah.
On the tail end of that lead pack.
Yeah, definitely. But 40 laps right now come in the books, so about halfway through the second fuel run, as they're also catching another pack of lap cars. But the only issue here with lap cars is that they're going to be racing for the lap back here, so this could cause an incident up front, which, I mean, we've seen typically, we've all been super speed racing, there's always a lap car in the main pack trying to race their way back up after the lap. I mean, that could definitely cause an incident here, or even just slow the front pack down just a little bit. But I just don't think the front pack's too worried about the second pack here currently. I mean, 8-second gap in between these drivers. I mean, that's quite a bit. I mean, it's just a track like Daytona. I mean, it's just gonna be really tough to make up some time here unless this front pack really just starts going at it these next few laps. I mean, really the only time you can really make up is on and off pit lane, but even then, I mean, 8 seconds, that's kind of unheard of here at Daytona.
Yeah, especially these drivers trying to get moving forward right now, but we're 40 laps into this one, as you mentioned earlier. Everyone's just trying to staying calm right now. These top four, they're not going to make moves on each other. They're trying to extend their gap as much as possible. Yeah, those lap pressures trying to leech off the back of those drivers. But you see the points. It's Cody Orsi, Derek Rowley working well together. These two, if it stays like this all night long, these two are going to have a much better advantage going into the next two races. Josh Richardson, he's really far behind already. He's gonna have to hope for pretty much all the other four to have a bad finish here tonight. They're gonna have to wreck later on. Calvin Smith also way out the back. He's actually gonna lap down here soon. And Kyle Spence, he's stuck in the second pack, sitting in 6th, so not as bad, but they're gonna be struggling there tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll see how it plays out though. We're not even halfway yet in this race, but it looks like really good for the front four. But we'll see if this pack even goes a little bit smaller. I mean, they have been working together in voice chat, so I assume these guys just try to stay together, work together as hard as they can. But you never know in pit lane, you know, some guy gets a speed penalty or messes up, spins out on the edge of the pit lane. And we've already seen that tonight as well. So runs out of fuel even, I mean, Calvin Smith. But you just never know who could maybe fall off the wagon, fall off the bus, whatever you want to call it. But top four is working together to catch up. Some of the looks like Calvin Smith up ahead, and I believe that might be Mike Marshall. Incorrect. No, actually it's Dan Sakero. My bad. Those two working together pretty well back here, but got to feel for Calvin Smith that just run off pit lane. Running off fuel on pit lane is one thing, but when you have the first pit box, is a whole different deal. There's a lot of traffic behind them, battling a little bit. Trying to get that lucky dog spot here in case there's a caution. Looks like Brand New will stay ahead for now with Mike Marshall.
Yeah, that's not really gonna make a big difference right now. These top four are really organized right now, and the way they're pushing, and they just see the little bit of organization is just helping Derek Riley. I was worried Derek Riley in this pack, it would have hurt them a little bit because Derek Riley has a lot of front end damage. He's not gonna be able to save his temps as well as possible. But yeah, I think if the second pack, they were really efficient, really organized with their saving their temps, switching each other out. You don't really have to switch each other out. But getting the air to the second or car lane, getting the shoves going perfectly off the corners. If that second pack was doing that perfectly, the front pack I think would be a little bit worried, especially because Derek Riley he can't really get his temps as efficiently because he has that front end damage. That front end is completely pushed in, and that's going to restrict the air to the nose. So it's just not going to help them. But right now, they've been lucky. Right now, that second pack is not very organized compared to them, and they've been still doing a pretty good job. They've been getting Derek Riley off the bumper a little bit, giving him plenty of air into the corners. But they're definitely not the most efficient way of doing it. But like I said earlier, Cody Dorsey would probably want to come up a half lane, give Derek Riley, let him ride the bottom, and get him a little bit of air on that nose, and then they push each other off the corner. All three of them push each other off the corner. That's definitely going to be the most efficient way to do it. But they're doing a pretty good job at it so far. Actually, coming from the pit stops here in the next probably about 5 to 8 laps for these front packs. So these drivers have to be a little bit closer to these drivers. Even at the end of lap 25, and Cody Dorsey, I think 25 is really going to be his only number. You saw Calvin Smith, he went 26 and he was sputtering down pit road, so you don't want that to happen if you're Cody Dorsey. So you got to be careful here, especially if Cody Dorsey is going to expect to lead the rest of this race. He's going to be tight on making it on the same amount of stops as everybody else, so he won't be able to lead the entire time. He's going to have to shuffle someone out He's gonna have to probably shuffle out next run. Someone like Jason Bottoms or Duke or Derek Riley takes his faster here because Derek Riley cannot leave it for the damage. That's gonna make them a parachute completely. But Derek Riley, he's okay right now, sitting second, third, fourth in line, but he cannot lead. But they would have to shuffle out Cody Dorsey a little bit and have Cody Dorsey save a little bit more fuel towards one of them, or shuffle one driver out halfway through the run. Just make sure that all four of them can make it 25 laps safely, and if they're leading the whole time, they're going to be okay on making it to the end of the least amount of stops possible.
Yeah, we'll see here though, but pit stop should be happening here in the next 4 or 5 laps. If the first fuel run was any indicator of how long the gyros can go. So coming down the front straight away. Lap number 47 to 48. So far we're almost halfway through this race, haven't had a caution, haven't really had any incidents, nothing too crazy. I mean, we got some iRacing, maybe bugs, glitches. These released some gyros there, Crowley and Joshua Schmitz, that we've seen so far, and we'll see how it plays out though. I mean, like I said, we're not even halfway yet, so we still have the race to go. And it's been a really calm Daytona race. See, I kind of expected that coming into the night, 14 cars in total. It's not like a huge pack of cars and one little guy makes a mistake and the whole field's dead. But you never know, sometimes these packs get a little racy early on. We saw that a little bit, but right now I know these gyros are just calm. It's kind of like the Daytona 500 in iRacing. You just kind of ride around for the first 75, 80% of the race, and then really those last 20, 30 laps, you really push at that last pit stop. So we'll see if we kind of see a late race caution here these next few laps, but late race caution later in the race. But I think we probably won't see a caution at minimum until lap 75. If I had to bet money on it, I would say lap 75 to 85 is when we'll see probably a caution if we do see one tonight.
We'll see how aggressive, and especially these top four right now, they do not want to see a caution. If it just stays green, they are going compared to the rest of the field. They're out in the lead by 10 seconds. So they don't want to see a caution because they can just fight it out with each other with the last couple of laps. They do have some lap cars maybe playing a little bit back towards the back. The top four all by themselves up here. They don't have to worry about fighting anybody else for it. One of them from the team will win. They can fight it out together. So we'll see how that plays out. But those four do not want to see yellow. But only about 4 or 5 car packs. So it really those guys stay calm. So they'll probably have to come from a lap car pushing a lucky dog here later. If the lane's moving a little bit later. But right now, this time by will be halfway through the race here in Daytona, so it'll be 125 miles down, 125 to go this time by, so 50 to go on laps. We'll see if they come down pit road here, because Cody Dorsey's going to be a little bit tight, and he is. They will come down pit road right on the number at the end of lap 50, so right at the halfway point. As Dan Stacchero trying to get it, I think he clipped the cone. He's going to get a penalty there. But the main four, the 4 lead lap cars, they are going to come down just fine. As Cole Lewis will not get that lap, like Cody Dorsey will barely get it right at the line there, going down pit road. But that will be halfway as leaders come down pit road, so they got to be careful. You don't want to be leading this whole time. They're going to want to target lap 75. If you get a late race caution, you're going to have to come down pit road for fuel. You really want to try and stretch that last stop and get a little bit of extra fuel in the car, so you don't have to pit coming to a green white checkered, so you can stay out and take the track position. If you're trying to green white checkered, you want the track position. Say if you get a yellow here with 5 to go, especially if they pit on lap 75, you can barely make it to the finish. They're right on the number to the checkered flag. If they get a yellow with 5 to go, they're going to have to pit and sacrifice their track position. They can't stay out as they don't have enough fuel for green white checkered, but they will all get out pretty uniform, a little bit separation, but the rest of the second pack will also come down pit road this time. So now all the lead lap cars are down pit road. So now all the lap cars will try and hope for a yellow here the next lap or so before they have to come down at pit road. But right now, Dan Barone led the field on pit road there as he took the lap lead. But as here comes the top 4 coming off turn 4. As they had a 10-second advantage going into pit road, and it looks like that will probably stay in the exact same. And see they come across the line now. It's out Cole Lewis, Kyle Schmitz, and the rest of the pack well, they're just exiting pit road now, so they're going to be really far behind already. I think they may have even lost more time there.
Yeah,
but those top four are working together, and it looks like Calvin Smith also playing a factor, and he also actually acts as a buffer for Derek Riley, so that works even better for Calvin Smith. But if I was Cody Dorsey and the rest of the other three, I want Calvin Smith to lead as the lap car. Let the lap car burn all the fuel off, and then everyone else can save it together, and they can also pit a little bit later. So right now, Cody Dorsey leading, but I would not be opposed. To letting Calvin Smith lead that line either.
So right now the pack behind is 11 seconds back. So like you mentioned, they lost even more time on the exit pit lane, about 4 or 5 seconds even actually. So I think it's really going to be a 4-car race here in this one if we do go green the rest of the way.
So see, still one more pit stop to go for these front four. Now you gotta watch their lap here. They gotta at least go to 25 to go. So that will be interesting to watch. You gotta be careful when you do that. So we'll see how those drivers can do it, especially with Cody Dorsey leading the whole time. And he will also not have as much buffer on a green checkered fuel. Those four won't have as much buffer as the green checkered fuel number compared to the second pack, which the second pack is only going 1 lap longer, but that 1 lap can mean a lot, especially coming in if we get to a coolant checker. 1 extra lap could be important on being able to making it, and they can stay out, take the track position, and then they will have the fuel right at the very end.
So now currently 9 cars on the lead lap, as Outboard just still having single file mine, as we've also had some other lap car drivers as well. Obviously Dan Stock Arrow in the back here, having his penalty on pit lane from clipping that orange cone, or I guess on into the pit lane. But only 6 cars in the lead pack compared to, well, they have 5 cars in the backpack here. We'll be adding a few cars here in a moment though, but man, this rate they're out the game about 0.3 of a second a lap, which is almost pretty much consistently impossible here at Daytona. I mean, realistically, it's just gonna be a 4-car race to the end unless these drivers in front make a big mistake on pit lane. So it's kind of just a winging game at this point, really, for these drivers. I mean, just gotta wait until the last pit stop and kind of hope not for a caution, really, for the front four at this point in the race. Maybe a driver like Cody Dorsey, maybe thinking a little bit bigger picture. Maybe just don't get crashed, because if he doesn't crash, I mean, he's still top 2 in the points. Still in a really good spot going into next week at Vegas.
Especially Kyle Switz, he wants to, right now, he wants to try and be first out of the second pack here. He wants to try and be 5th. You want to limit your damage to Cody Dorsey, Derek Riley as much as possible. Same with another driver in that pack as well, Calvin Smith. But Calvin Smith, he's a lot down, so
just kind of maybe getting lucky dog position just in case there's a wreck, or at least finish at the lead the lead of the lap down cars. I mean, that's all you can really do at this point.
Well, actually, if you're Calvin Smith, you want to try and lead this field, lead your pack right now to the line, coming to the checkered, so he gets that extra lap. Say that second pack, they wreck. One driver can't make it to the line. That's an extra point. That could matter, especially in this final round. So if you're Calvin Smith, you want to try and be. If you're with the lead pack here, you want to try and lead them to the line. You don't want to have the lead lap cars keep you to the line. So you get that extra lap. You have that extra lap, and say if the second pack wrecks or if they wreck, come in the line, no one can make it to the finish. You can come all the way around and pick up an extra 1 or 2 spots, maybe if there's a wreck on that white flag. So that could also be crucial points there as well. So right now, Calvin Smith is running 10th, first car lap down. If he gets on the lead lap, let's say 3 or 4 cars wreck in that second pack, and then and 2 of them can't make it to the finish, he's finishing 8th. So that could be huge. For Calvin Smith, especially for that buffer, especially as Cody Dorsey and Derek Riley say they finished 1-2, Kyle Smith finishing 5th. It's much better to finish, and finishing 8th isn't that much farther back than 10th. So it's still going to be a little bit, still going to be behind a little bit, but at least you minimize your damage and you have some time to make it up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Just kind of like you mentioned, just minimize damage. I think that's like the biggest thing. A lot of these drivers currently just minimize damage. Yeah, it's kind of hard mentally just to kind of run in line at this moment. I mean, you know, as a driver, you want to be racing as much as you can, racing hard, but you know, the smart thing to do is just stay in line, stay patient. So you got 40 laps to go, and you have a really good chance. I mean, you have a pretty much a 25% chance of winning if you're in the front pack here currently for these top 4 drivers. I mean, Derek Riley, you probably, if I was him, I would take, I mean, maybe he just doesn't know he has damage. I mean, I'm sure he has some sort of optional, possibly, but maybe he doesn't realize how bad it is, because as soon as he pulled out line at the beginning of this race, after he got that damage, it was pretty evident that he was really slow by himself up top. So I think this pit stop will probably take a faster period, and if he doesn't, that is something we gotta watch out for here late in this race if Derek Riley does not take his fast repair during this next pit stop.
So far, so good for the front 4. They got a couple lap cars tagged along here, but looking strong. But as you mentioned earlier, the gap, they had to gain about 3/10 of a lap for that second pack, and that gap is down to 10.8 seconds. So they have gained their time back these past few laps. Right now, leading that pack is Kyle Schmitz. He's got Brandon Cuxhausen behind him. They're making it work pretty good right now. Calvin Smith not pushing as much as Cody Dorsey last time by. Kyle Schmitz 47.138, Cody Dorsey 47.560. So they're making time for that second pack. Still a big gap to go. But you gotta start to worry if they start to manage that. If they bring that down another 3-4 seconds, some alarm bells have to ring, and the lead pack, you got to start pushing a little bit more. These drivers everyone still has one more stop as well, so that could shake things up even more. But that could go still bad if, say, one of like Jason Bottoms or Derek Riley, when they make a speeding penalty on pit road, one of them make a pit road mistake, there goes one of their helps. And there's 4 cars, then you got 3 cars, and then 3 cars you can't back off. You got to keep shoving forward. When you back off to try and save some attention, you're just going to be slowing yourselves up. So one car losing the back could make a big difference here. So we'll see how that plays out for some of these drivers. On that second pack, they could be making really good points, really good time up right now.
They are. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe Cody Dorsey could be saving some fuel, maybe out in front. I mean, we can go on board here with this 9 machine. I don't think this fuel should be a big issue, though, for Cody Dorsey. Doesn't sound like he's saving much fuel at all. So I mean, maybe the backpack just kind of has figured things out. They were like 4/10 quicker last time by, so they really keep up this pace. I mean, they could have a chance here late, but they have to really be consistent these next couple laps.
And the gap for that second pack down to 9.7. Kyle Schmidt's last time by 46.939, and Cody Dorsey 47.438. Now he's leading the pack, but you really want to watch the tail end of that pack, which is right now is Dan Stockero, which had 47.553, which is the tail end of the field. The tail end of that pack is going to be a little bit quicker, but depending on how much Dan Stockero is going to be lagging off the back, they could get within that draft in about a second and a half. If Dan Stockero starts to lose a little bit, the last time by 3.59 for Dan Stockero, so it was the same lap time. 47.061 for Kyle Schmitz, about 3/10 faster. That's the gap they need, but they still have to make one pit stop. So they don't really, if you're set that second pack right now, you just gotta manage. You gotta manage on pit road. You do not want to lose time on the pit road. You want to try and keep this time moving. You want to try and gain as much as you can on pit road, but you do not want to lose time, because right now you have that advantage right now. You don't want to lose that advantage right now by getting each other separated, making a mistake on pit road.
Definitely, but this time by another 3/10. Let's see what it is this time by. Come to the stripe, it's gonna be another 0.5 of a second. I mean, man, this pack is really gaining these last few laps. We do a little side-by-side here comparison between Cody Dorsey and Kyle Schmitz. I mean, it's pretty evident, though. I mean, that's quite a bit of time there in these past 3 laps.
And the gap down to 9.3 seconds.
We'll see what it is this
they
time
may have
by.
lost a little bit of time
Yeah.
here. Last time at the line it was about 8.8, so we'll see. At least iRacing scoring. Let's see if it is a little slower this time. 8.4,
Yeah,
so they
still
lost
4/10.
that time. Still 4/10 gain there, so they still gain a good bit. Actually, yeah, still 4/10 gain, my bad. Apologies on that one, but it's been just a slight lighter bit off. It's more of a real-time gap than the gap that is taken out of the line by iRacing itself. So, but really that gap, that number right there, you're gonna want to see it within about a second to a second and a half. That's when they're gonna be a danger zone. I think within a second they're going to be in the draft and they are back to the main pack. But
yeah, it's not.
They still need 8 seconds, but
yeah,
still a lot of time left.
It's about a second within this last car on this main pack. It's not even the race leader. That to be about a second back from the 27 Dan Stockero, which he's we don't know the timing score right now, but he's probably around a half a second back from Cody Dorsey, maybe even a little bit more than that actually. So I mean, they really just need to get to the back bumper of one of the cars in the end of the lead pack. They're only about half a straightaway behind, a little bit more than that as they enter turn number 3 and 4. Kind of see this camera angle how far behind they are. So,
last time by, it looks like it's starting to stagnate a little bit.
Yeah, last time by.
Seems like maybe Brandon Kessler got a little bit hot, but they've been doing pretty good. They're still not the most perfect strategy, but they've been doing pretty good right now. I wonder if it's lead pack started to notice a little bit, and notice that gap start to come down. Notice that out of the lead pack there for the second pack. Yeah, as you see kind of up front, Calvin Smith there, Carly, they're staying a lot more tighter to Cody Dorsey than they were. They still lose about a tenth a lap, which is okay. They can afford to lose a tenth a lap, but they don't want to be losing any more than 3-4 tenths a lap like they were a few laps ago. That's still 8 seconds still up on the board to lose. If you're losing about half a second a lap, that's going to take about 16 laps. So every lap they can lose less than 2-3 tenths a lap is going to be better for them. We'll see how the pit cycles come around here. As they're going to have to pit within the next 3 laps for Cody Dorsey. We'll see how that gap shrinks up or expands. Coming to pit road last time by 3 tenths faster for that second pack. So we'll see if this second pack, if they can gain a second and a half to 2 seconds on pit road, that could be huge, because now they still only need about 3 tenths a lap. But if the gap still stays about the same, they need to consistently make about 4 or 5 tenths a lap on the main pack, which that's going to be really hard to do each and every lap. But 2 tenths a lap is much easier than about 5 tenths a lap to do consistently. But still, they're still going to have to make up a lot of time here. But we'll see how much they can make up a pit road, and they need to try and make sure they make time. They can't afford to lose any time on pit road for that second pack. Time by, looking at the start lap number 74 as they're exiting turn 2 right now down the back straightaway. As they'll have to pit coming to the end of lap 75. It looks like that's the number for Cody Dorsey, just barely making it every 25 laps. It looks like everyone's going to have to top it off fully, but you're going to need less than, you're not going to want to take any tires here. 2 tires at the most. You don't want to take 4. 4 is going to cost you too much time, especially for that second pack. So they do not want to take 4 like they did the first stop. Originally caused them to lose so much time. But right now, Cody Dorsey leads the field. He's got help from Calvin Smith, the lap machine. Kyle Schmitz, the gap for the second pack down to 7 seconds, 7.2 seconds the last time by. So it is getting a danger time for these lead packs, as they are losing a lot of time. I wonder if Cody Dorsey, if he's trying to crack out of the throttle a little bit. I wonder if he might be a little tight. He's trying to save a little bit off the front.
I mean, he's been leaning a lot. I mean, what you should do.
If that's the case, you want to go to the back.
Yeah, just let Calvin Smith lead at this point. I mean, he's a lap down car. He's not.
I mean, if I was that lead pack. If I was that lead pack, I'll let Calvin Smith lead from the get-go.
Yeah,
let the lap car do all the fuel work.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to burn fuel. I mean, we're up to 26 to go, so he should be good. I mean, man, that second pack is really
catching. He's gonna be a little tight if he leads the whole time.
Yeah.
Especially if he's having the lift, having to stay a little bit. You don't want to be doing that, especially in this final run. So. It's going to cost them a lot of time here. I mean, the gap's now at 6.7 seconds. They've been gaining at least 4 or 5 tenths a lap every lap here, and that's exactly what that second pack needs. But they do not want to lose time here on pit road. Here comes the lead pack. Every car will come down pit road except for Dan Stuckero. Dan Stuckero, a lap car. He's just trying to stay out and hopefully get a caution here for him. And so he does not have to come down pit road. The second pack, they will stay out of pit road. They will cross the line. I believe they'll actually lead that lap here. So yeah, Kyle Schmitz will take that lap lead. We'll see a gap last time by. But Kyle Schmitz up 46.8. They are flying to that second pack right now. They'll have to come down pit road this time by. Now we'll have to see Cody Dorsey, Derek Riley, how organized they're going to be on pit road. There it looks like they're going to take 2 right side tires at least. That's all they're going to want to do. 2 tires and then go. Fill it all the way up as well. Jason Bottoms actually seems way better on pit road compared to the others.
4 seconds quicker pit stop.
Yeah, I think that was a contribution. Cody Dorsey was leading the whole time. He may have needed 2 cans of fuel, so he had to wait for the gas can, for the second gas can. So they had to wait for the gas can to disengage and get the second can in. And that's going to cost them. That's going to be huge for the second pack. Because that's one less car. They only have a 3-car pack here. This could really shake things up here late. And the second pack went an extra lap.
Yeah, on less fuel too, so that could probably be pretty quick to stop as well. Wow, this has really changed everything these past few laps. I mean, personally, I never thought the second pack really had a chance. We're looking at it right now. These three cars were there quickly, but it's going to be the entry to the pit road. That's really good. I think seal this deal here with 23 laps to go this time by. The most important pit stop of the night for the second pack. You cannot make any mistakes here.
Jason Bottoms is by himself on the lead lap cars. He's with Calvin Smith, but they are 2 seconds in front of the rest of the lead lap cars. Cody Dorsey, Derek Riley, Dakota Bly, they dropped the other lap cars. Dan Stock, here is he hit a lap early, but they only have
Scott
Calvin
Kerberg
Smith. The good news is Calvin Smith is leading right now.
Scott Kerberg, black flag entering pit lane, most likely speeding. So his chance at victory will be ended most likely unless we get a caution here late. But we'll see.
They probably ran it as close as dry as possible, so he's gonna have to wait the 40 seconds there as well for taking pit service.
As they're off, they're away and go. There they go. So here comes Jason Bottoms as they're not far ahead now as they were before.
That was only Cole Lewis and Brandon Cuxhausen. The good news is for this lead pack, the second pack is also separated. They have the same problem. But they're getting up to speed now. After Cole Lewis, you don't want to get on that line there. You don't want to get on safe pit exit. But now the lead pack is set. Now the lead pack is together. They're going to slingshot past Calvin Smith and Jason Bottoms. Now if you're Cody Dorsey, you got to watch the fuel number, especially coming in late here, coming to the final run. But Calvin's up at the top three. Cole Lewis, Brandon Coxhausen, Kyle Schmitz, they got linked up together very quickly here. They got to push together, but they got to hope. They got to get someone else together. Dan Barone, Mikey Marshall. I think the rest of that pack's just too separated.
Yeah, that's back's just way too separated back there. That's a 5-car pack up front, but 3 cars back there. They gain time on that pit stop, so they're only 5 seconds back, but they're losing more and more time here. They just don't have enough. They don't have the numbers here currently. For a moment there, I thought they had a chance, but they just weren't great off the pit lane. It looks like Scott Kerberg, that black flag, I think really, actually no, he could help him here. He's coming off pit lane right now, so he could go with these guys and further on back.
He's going to tag along here. He has to tag along.
Might be a little too late here at this moment, though.
They say up to speed. If he can just get up to normal speed, we'll see if Lewis or Cuxhausen catch up to him. But Cole Lewis and Brady Cuxhausen, they were leading. They were doing very strong leading. Brady Cuxhausen was doing pretty good at pushing. But the issue is now with the 3 cars, Cuxhausen cannot lay off the back. He cannot lay off to save temps. He's got to. Charles Fitz has to keep him tight. So I mean, he's not really gonna have much opportunity to save temps. Last time by, the gap was 6.2, so they are just dropping back far now. So these drivers are gonna have a caution. They're gonna have to have some catastrophic failure from that front pack. The good news is for them, they do have a second pack of 3, but they have to get linked up together. But they're about 2 seconds off the back of the second pack. But if they can get linked up together again, if we can get something moving forward, maybe they can get something going. But it's gonna be a tough ask to do that.
Yeah, definitely gonna be a tough ask here currently. I mean, .3 seconds is gap though between him and Jason Bottoms, but
here with 19 to go, going 18. It looks like the field is. The good news is Scott Kerber, he did tag along to the second pack, so we'll have to watch the lap times to see if they can get something moving. But those 4 have to be perfect on pushing. The good news is they only stagnated about 6.1 seconds, so they still have a chance, but they still need about 4 or 5 tenths a lap. Now these drivers are working together. Cody Dorsey and Garrett Riley to go to Jason Bowles. They are working together, but if they start to battle in the last few laps or so, it's just slow them down big time. This could still be it. This second pack is not fully out of this yet. They still have a small chance, but as actually they did gain half a second that last time by. They got down to 5.6. So
Yeah,
this
they're
could
not
be
out of
big
this
for that second
quite
pack.
yet.
I think here with 18 laps to go, though,
It's gonna be tough.
the second
Yeah,
pack
pretty
is trying to catch up. We're here for 17 laps to go. The second pack's trying to catch up. I think this is a good time for Ellen and Craig It Up here from Daytona.
We're back here at
Welcome back
Daytona.
From our cranking up segment is right now, it is Cody Dorsey, our race leader here with 12 laps to go. He's got his teammates Derek Riley, Dakota Bly, Jason Bottoms working with him They're working together. Calvin Smith, the lap machine, is tagged along as well. So you got 3 championship 5 drivers in this pack. But Calvin Smith 1 lap down, sitting in 9th. Now, what we've been monitoring the whole time and what we've been seeing, the second pack was 12 seconds back halfway through the race. They have bringing that gap down to 4 seconds. 4 seconds here with 11 laps to go. If they can get it within a second, they're in the draft range. They can draft up the main pack, especially this main pack. They start the battle, they start to side draft each other. They cannot afford to do that anymore like they would earlier. Coming to 10 laps to go this time by. The second pack is moving compared to this lead pack right now. You got to watch for Cody Dorsey. Cody Dorsey as well. He's been leading the whole time, and I believe maybe he was trying to save a little bit of fuel at the very end of that last run, trying to make sure he made it to the 25 lap to go mark. So him leading the whole time, he might not be fully good either. He could be maybe a quarter lap short. He might have to lift out of it. Maybe that's what he's been doing these past few laps, but he's got to be careful. Last time by, though, Cody Dorsey 46.9 for that for the lead pack, 46.793 for the second pack. So about a 10th there that last time by. It's not going to be enough at 1/10, but they can get back to about 3-4 tenths a lap. They're going to get there.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be close here. About 3.8 seconds is the gap, like you mentioned. And, I mean, we were just talking about, they've seen it right at this moment. They've seen 2.5 seconds, really, because they just got to get to the back end of Calvin Smith. He's just like about 4 car lengths back from Cody Dorsey. So from Jason Bottoms, they're about 3.8 seconds back from Jason Bottoms, about 4 seconds in total back from Cody Dorsey. So they really just need about three more seconds here to get in that drafting range. And I mean, with 9 laps, 8.5 laps to go, it's definitely doable. They should about probably still about 3 tenths a lap, give or take. They really have a chance of this one, but
they really need more at this point. Now they need about 4.5 tenths a lap now. It's going to be a little tight, but I mean, these front 4, they get battling. It's going to be tight here with 8 laps to go. These 4 have been working together all night long. It's been green the whole way. They've been clean and green, and they separated from the first pit stop. And there they go. They gained the 10th on the second pack. They're trying to get as much buffer as possible. They're trying not to lose any more time, so maybe they can battle out with each other in the last lap. We'll see how this goes, but right now, Cody Dorsey still leads. He leads the points as well with Derek Riley there in second. Those two, they want to try and get a big advantage over Kyle Schmidt, Calvin Smith as well. But Calvin Smith lap down right behind them. Joshua Schmidt's out of the race, so they're really just trying to keep Kyle Schmitz as far back as possible. Trying to get him at least big points advantage going in the next 2 weeks.
yeah, definitely we'll see though. But from the 7 laps to go this time by, the second pack has kind of died down a little bit. Their charge to the front here, it might just be in vain unless this front pack really gets racy early on. But I don't really expect that to be happening here with these front drivers. They know they're in the same voice chat with each other. They know the circumstance of what could happen here. They get a little bit too racy early on. They let those other drivers reel themselves back in.
3.6 was the gap last time by, and I think Cody Dorsey's now full push now. Maybe he was probably lifting early on the run, but 3.6 seconds here, coming to 6 to go. It's still a little bit too much to ask for, but the gap is there. If they can get within 2 seconds, they start to battle more than a lap to go. It could get tight here, as actually the lap car Braden Newton, they just had to get by him. They might have the extra car tag along. Actually checked in the back just a tad there, but it looks like they were about the same speed for the front packs there, but it looks like this front 4 will go to the finish. Just will they survive? Will they wreck each other at the end of it?
Yeah, I mean, that always does seem, not always, but it always does seem to happen here at a super speedway like Daytona. You just never know until you get to that white flag. You just never know when a caution could come out. As we're coming to 5 laps to go this time by. It's looking really good so far, though.
Good for Cody Dorsey, dude. Probably sitting there in second. There's actually a lot of lap cars have just tagged along too as well. A lot of lap cars getting lapped here right at the very end. This could help depending on who falls back. Off the back, like Mike Marshall. This is going to help that second pack. They're going to be able to leech off the draft of Mike Marshall, but Mike Marshall's going to block the bottom, so they have to go around him. I could slow them up at the top three pretty good. Fourth, a little bit lagging behind, but it's going to be a little tough to do now for that second pack. As Brandon Newton and Dan Barone also tagged along to the front pack, so it's going to be even harder for that second pack now. Just going to hope pick it a yellow here. Maybe they wreck coming down the line. Yeah, almost 3.5 seconds now, and that was 4 laps to go for the front pack. Really separated though, as Jason Bottoms is way off the back bumper to Dakota Y. This could be big.
Could be looking for a move here.
Maybe Jason Bottoms looking for a move with Calvin Smith. That might be an issue. Yeah, that might be what's trying to happen here. This could slow them up big time. If they start to get side by side, they start side dress each other. They could be up to 8-10 slower than the second pack. So that's plenty of time.
It's a kind of a waiting game. You know, you don't want to wait too long, but you don't want to.
Oh, here comes Dakota Y.
Oh, he looked. Not sure if he maybe got off the racetrack just a little bit too much, but I think he was looking there. Maybe do something.
Yeah, that time by was 3.4, so still not much of a gain, but Jason Bottoms and Calvin Smith, they are way off the back of this top three now. This is going to cost them a lot of time. This is going to be a lot of time lost here, especially with the Goodbye trying to make a move up top here. Here comes Jason Bottoms. He's got a big run with Calvin Smith. Are they going to take it? They're going to push their Goodbye. They're going to stay in line. They will not take the move this early. Looks like, I wonder if they're practicing their run. They're going to try and get a run moving here with coming to 2 to go, maybe on the white flag. I wonder if that maybe slowed them up a little bit much. They were pretty separated here. The top three stayed tight enough, so I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference. But yeah, not much of a difference there. Maybe 3/10 at most.
It
looks like Jason Bottoms, Calvin Smith are really laying off the back in turn number 1, trying to make something happen here. With 2 laps to go, do they take the move this time on the back straightaway?
Might be a little too early. I mean, he's really far back. Maybe he's saving fuel, but he's really far back. I mean, that's really as the front drivers kind of bunch back up together. Calvin Smith, here they go to the top side. From the white flag this time by.
Big run for Jason Bottoms and Calvin Smith off of turn 4. They're going to go to the top lane. Everyone else will stay to the bottom. Jason Bottoms, Derek Riley, Cody Dorsey. They push. Oh, sorry, Cody Bly on the bottom. They push the inside lane. Brandon Newton, the lap machine. He hops up to the top lane, trying to push this outside lane forward. Side by side, 3 deep here with a white flag in the air into turn number 1 for the final time.
The side by side Bottoms. I think he's clear on the bottom lane if he wants to take it. As here comes Calvin Smith still pushing. He's pushing as hard as he can. Lap traffic up ahead. This could play a factor. He's going to go to the apron though. Bottom is still clear. Lap car behind him. Now he's a buffer. He has a big buffer.
Everyone clears. Brandon Newton blocking that outside lane in. Here comes Cody Dorsey to the top lane. He's got Derek Riley trying to shove it. But Derek Riley has some front of the image from earlier. Here comes Cody Dorsey around the outside. Is it going to be enough? I don't think it will. Jason Bottoms to the line. No cars threatening behind him. Jason Bottoms will win at Daytona.
Jason Bottoms, what a win here at Daytona. And he'll pick up his first win of the season here at the beginning of the round of 5. What a way.
What a perfectly timed move
there.
there.
I mean, that was...
And they both cleared down into 3, and Brandon Newton got stuck up top. And then that boxed in Cody Dorsey. And that worked perfectly. That worked perfectly for them. That's really my dream way of it happening there. And they had Calvin Smith behind him. So Calvin Smith had nothing to fight for. He could have had Calvin Smith go to the top lane inside. But if Calvin Smith went up inside, then maybe could open the door for Dakota Y. But Jason Bottoms, with the help of Calvin Smith, the lap machine, Calvin Smith crossing the line in 8th tonight. Jason Bottoms wins the race in a perfectly timed move with Calvin Smith working well with his teammates all night long, and a fully green race here at Daytona, flag to flag. And Jason Bottoms will capitalize. He will win here at Daytona. Unfortunately for Jason Bottoms, not in the Championship 5 here tonight. So, but unfortunately there for Jason Bottoms, not in the bracket challenge as well either. But it does get that win. He's been trying for all season long. He won at Richmond last season. Now he picks up his second win here in the Contender Series. He'll burn it down here on the front straightaway.
Yeah, as he gets that win that he desperately wanted. It's his third top 5 of the season. It's probably the most memorable of them here tonight. So as he resets, we're going to take a quick little break. And we'll be right back here at Daytona for our top 3 interviews and our final race results as well.
Welcome back here to Daytona. We just wrapped up the Spare Parts Gaming Community 250 here for our first round of the Championship 5 here for the Contender Series. So Jason Bottoms picking up the win. Before we get to our post-race interviews, let's take a quick look at tonight's results here from Daytona. Jason Bottoms able to pick up the win, and Dakota Bly finishing in second. And those work well for Kyle Schmitz, Calvin Smith, and Joshua Schmitz for the points situation. The Championship 5 is now the top 2 non-Championship 5 drivers, but Cody Dorsey finishing in third, Derek Harley in fourth, and Kyle Schmitz right at the top 5, so 3 Championship 5 drivers right there, third, fourth, and fifth. Cole Lewis finishing in sixth, and Brandon Cuss out in seventh, Kyle Smith in eighth, Dan Perron in ninth, and Scott Kerber rounds in the top 10. Brandon Newton finishing 11th, Dan Sucker in 12th, 13th, and Mikey Marshall, and Joshua Schmitz rounding out 14th. Now, also as well, the bracket challenge for the non-playoff drivers, Brandon Cuxhausen will take it over Dan Stockero. Brandon Newton, Stephen Ward was not here tonight, so Brandon Newton automatically moves on. Same with David Wells, he was not here, so Scott Herbert automatically moves on. And Mike Marshall lost out to Cole Lewis there, so it will be Cole Lewis and Scott Kerber next week at Las Vegas with Brandon Cuxhausen and Brandon Newton next week for the bracket challenge. Now let's take a look at our Championship 5 standings after tonight. Barring post-race penalties, but there shouldn't be no post-race penalties. We had no cautions here tonight, so flag to flag. So good to see our points leader by only about 5 points here. But only a few points here after tonight. Kyle Schmitz in second, Derek Harley in third. All 3 of those staying really close together. Kyle Schmitz will stay in second. Calvin Smith in fourth. He's gonna have a little bit of work to do. 3 points out of Derek Riley, but he's about 18 out of Cody Dorsey. Cody Dorsey with a really good night tonight, getting all those bonus points. He led all those laps there late. Josh Smith's not having a good night at all. He's needing a lot of help in the next 2 races to see if he wants to have a shot at the championship.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see.
For now,
what
we're gonna bring in.
next week.
We'll move it down. Yeah, we'll see what next week, the next 2 weeks. So now we'll bring it down to victory lane. We'll bring in our race winner of Jason Bottoms.
Oh, Jason, got a copy?
I got you.
So you pick up your first win of the season tonight at Daytona in dramatic fashion, working there with Calvin there at the end. Talk us through, we kind of saw you guys maybe practice some of your runs a couple laps to go, about 2 or 3 laps to go. You kind of backed up a little bit and timed it perfectly there at the end. Talk us through those last few laps.
Just really owe it all to Calvin there. I mean, he stuck with me, and like you said, we were experimenting there, working on the run, and just honestly, I took the run a lot earlier than I wanted to, and I was a little bit nervous there going into one, but we ended up getting hooked together on the backstretch and ended up getting the win there, and that's just awesome. Good teamwork from everyone. I think that was all the redacted guys up front, so hats off to all of them.
Yeah,
Everyone else in the field too. We had caution free.
Oh yeah, yeah. Speaking of caution free, how hard was it getting on pit lane and off of pit lane as well? You guys went down there 3 times tonight so far.
That was definitely challenging. Like, I feel like the brakes weren't as good tonight for whatever reason, and it was cutting it close every time entering pit road, like either on the number and just getting lucky, and really, and then just everyone in pit road working together, making sure we get hooked back up. But everything went smoothly today.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Well, congrats on your win here tonight at Daytona. Is there anyone to thank for tonight's great win?
Yeah, shout out to Goat Fuel and Admin Box and everyone watching on the broadcast.
Like I said, congrats on your win here tonight at Daytona, and we'll see you next week at Las Vegas.
Thank you.
So bringing our second place finisher here of Dakota Bly and the 8 machine. Dakota, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are y'all?
Very good. As you finished in that second place spot here tonight at Daytona, just came up a little bit short behind Jason there. Talk us through those final few laps. Could you maybe have done anything differently? Maybe get around that 5 machine here late?
I really don't think there was anything I could have done differently. I was committed to where I was at. Jason had kind of backed up the run a couple times, but it was, I really, if I would have blocked, I would have crashed all of us, and I didn't want that. I wanted a good result to try and build momentum for next season. It was just really my trio that I was committed to. We kind of just lost all momentum. I think the middle car, Derek, was he was kind of getting a little bit hot, and that was just, it kind of hurt us in the end. But we were pushing, and P2 is nothing to be upset about, I would say.
Yeah, definitely not. Second top 5 finish of the season as well. So really good result here at Daytona for you. Anyone thank for tonight's great run?
Yep. So I actually brought Sim and Destroy Racing Company, brought them back on board. They were on the car at Canadian Tire when my race was cut short, so I wanted to bring them back on board, get them a full race in, and I was really happy to get them a good result. And then just special shout out to Quantum, Burlington Cafe, you guys, Okaya for sponsoring the Cleanest Driver, my mom's Addictions for sponsoring the Dash for Cash. And I think that's about all I've got.
Like I said, congrats on your second place here at Daytona, and we'll see you next week at Las Vegas.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
As that was Dakota Bly in the 8 machine. We bring out third place finisher of Cody Dorsey. Hello, Cody. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Talon.
So you round yourself off in the 3rd place here. You led the majority of that race, pretty much the second half, pretty much other than pit stops and those last kind of 2 laps, or last lap, I guess. But you still great points today, going for the round of 5 championship here. Talk us through your night overall. I mean, just kind of leading and working with your teammates as well.
It was a good night. Like I said, we all there early. I think beginning of the race kind of had a bad cycle. We all got pushed to the back and just got talking to them. I was like, "Hey guys, let's just pit a lap early." We knew when they were pitting. They kind of spoke it up out loud. I was like, "Hey, let's just go a lap early here and try to flip them, and try just to stretch the lead when we do it." And we just did that each pit stop. So I mean, we grew to lead. They were catching us there. We were just like, hey, let's just not race until the last lap, just to make sure that like at least one of us four win the race. And that's what we did. Like I said, it was no hold barred whenever that white flag came out. I told him, I was like, hey, I said, you guys do what you gotta do for a win. I said, I totally understand. I said I've led enough laps. I said I'm fine with. I said I just don't want a wreck coming across the checkered. I said I just want to take as much points as I can into the next round, into the next race for the championship 5.
Yeah, definitely. But also one thing we noticed, were you short? Were you close on fuel there at the end at all, or was you pretty comfortable with those final few laps?
I had 2.3 when we crossed the checkered. So
yeah, plenty of fuel.
I was good for one green white checkered. If we would have had 2 of them, yeah.
Well, speaking of next week and the next couple of weeks, next week Las Vegas, you're currently the points leader going into next week. What's your kind of thoughts there at the 1.5 mile racetrack there in Nevada?
I run decent at Vegas. There's a couple guys in here I know that's probably going to be the guys to beat. Just mainly just gotta have the mindset, just go in there and kind of do what I've done all season, just get the most out of the race and try to execute as much points as I can and try to have either a points lead still or just be within striking range heading to Auto Club.
Yeah, definitely definitely a good strategy there. As 2 races left in the season. Your points leader right now, Cody Dorsey. Anyone that I think for tonight's great finish?
Of course, I want to thank you, Talon, what you guys do here on LRN. We really appreciate you guys putting on a great broadcast like you do every single week for us. I want to thank Quantum Bearings for everything they do for the league. Burlington Cafe, of course. Had them on the car again. I was trying to go back-to-back with them, but it just wasn't meant to be, Pete, but it's a strong P3. Kevin Kyle with KK Woodscapes, Sim and Destroy Racing merch. If y'all can, just go over there to his website. There's some league merch in there if you want to get some, and get some of his merch too. He's got really nice stuff. But other than that, no. And just big shout out to the guys. Good job having a caution-free Daytona. That's really impressive. So thank you to all of them.
Like I said, congrats on your 3rd place here tonight at Daytona. We'll see you next week in Vegas.
All right, thank you, Talon.
So it's Cody Dorsey, our 3rd place finisher, and also our points leader going into next week in race number 2 in the round of 5 at Las Vegas. And only 2 races left to go, and Daytona did not disappoint. A lot more strategy involved in a typical maybe super speedway race, but top 4, like they've all kind of mentioned, worked together great, and it pretty much showed on the results page right there.
Yeah, they got together on pit road. They were good on off pit road. They didn't overly push it. They just made sure they were together with each other, nice and uniform. They got pushing really strongly together, and it just made it work. And they broke way, and I'm shocked to stay green the whole way. Usually, it feels like every time I do that, we actually get a breakaway with a couple teammates. We always get a caution that screws us over late in the race, but everyone stays green. And those 4, they had the shot to fight it out within each other. Just exactly like they planned for it. That worked out perfectly for them. And Kudoshi leading the points after tonight. He's going to try and maintain that advantage heading into Las Vegas next week, and then finale at Auto Club 2 weeks time.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it'd be interesting. I think Calvin Smith is also one to watch out for. He had a bad night. I mean, he said in the chat right there, he pushed Jason Bottoms because it was the best chance at his championship. Which, I mean, bigger picture, I mean, it was his best chance at his championship to still have that fight at the end. He's not too far back. We'll bring in the points right here, right now. He's not too crazy far back from Cody Dorsey, only 8 points, which is about 8 positions. Obviously, if you win a race, you get 5 more points. So, I mean, it could just be even a win compared to 3rd place. I mean, that's an 8-point difference. But, I mean, overall, I mean, that was a great decision from Calvin Smith, because Cody Dorsey was looking like he was probably gonna be the guy to beat there at the end if he didn't push Jason Bottoms out in front.
Yeah, for sure. And he pushed Jason Bottoms out in the front. He didn't get the on the lead lap if one of those drivers did a wreck or something. He could have picked those drivers up and then did anyways. But it actually really helped Jason Bottoms there. Pushed Jason Bottoms pretty much forward and clear, and pretty much gave Jason Bottoms that win. Just because they had such a good run. They pushed, cleared of everybody, and by the time someone else had the run, like Dakota Bly, Dakota Bly was by himself, and so he had no help. And Calvin Smith was just, and by the time Dakota Bly even got there, it was like in the trial already. There's no chance he you could have had it unless Calvin Smith hopped up trying to get the lap back right at the line on Jason Bottoms, and maybe they're going to had an opportunity to maybe just barely get Jason Bottoms at the line. But Calvin Smith playing a big factor there, just trying to minimize the damage, sitting in fourth, and lucky for him, Cody Dorsey third, fourth, and fifth. So he got really lucky that Cody Dorsey, Derek Riley, like most of the race, they didn't finish 1-2. Same with Kyle Schmitz as well. Kyle Schmitz only one spot back, and he also had a little bit of a buffer as well. So Kyle Schmitz, not a terrible night. And all things considered, he finished just behind the other two.
Yeah, not at all. But next week at Las Vegas, it's gonna be the Quantum Contender Series at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time. As that's next week's race here on Thursday night. But the next broadcast we have is Tuesday night for the top tier racing. They will be going to the Circuit of the Americas at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And the next broadcast after that is the Quantum Contender Series at Las Vegas, as the Superstar Arc Cup Series has a month-long break pretty much until their chase starts there. It's going to be March 25th. They're at Sonoma, so I'll have a break on Wednesday nights here for a while. Also, in about 2 weeks' time, we got the Legend Racing Network Spring Dirt Nationals, Dirt Street Stocks at Eldora. Friday night, big prize payout as well, and free entry and free broadcast. If you're interested in joining, you can join the Discord link in the description below for the Legends Racing Network Discord and sign up there. So thank you guys for all watching, and I'm Tyler Drake, and alongside Aaron Brown here tonight. We will see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network, and so long from Daytona Beach, Florida.